All right, guys. Our next guest joining us fresh after another epic karate combat event in Miami. How fitting. Former UFC champion, UFC Hall of Famer, an icon in the sport, El Guapo, Bas Rutten. Welcome back to your second home, Smish Radio. How are you, man?
Doing great. Rootin' tootin'. Rootin' tootin'. Who would know?
Tootin' in Miami, KC38 looked epic. Lots of great moments. Just quickly, for people that missed it, what do they need to go back and check out?
Oh, they're going to have to check out the main event, the co-main event, the battle between the two Brunos, Assis and Souza. That was a really great fight in the main event. I don't want to say anything about it, but that was like it was freaky dicky. So yeah, very happy. A whole bunch of good fights. I think the last 6-7 fights we had some really good action that night.
You guys are just killing it, man. Karate Combat. You guys got, even like some of the legends like Lyoto Machida and GSP. The production value. You guys, I don't know, man. I love it because you guys bring something different. I know we're here to preview UFC 287, but like, what is the next biggest fight that you're sort of looking forward to from Karate Combat?
From Karate Combat next month, May 20th. So and then we got a June show. And for I believe it could be every month of the rest of the year we have a show. So they're really picking up. Everything is going really well. They're going to do the Dow. The electric money is going to come in. Mm-hmm. This is something I know this sounds like a scheme, but it's not. You can't lose. You can only win. And it's really weird how it works. They just want people to interact online, and you're going to hear all that. That's going to launch May 10th, and then you're going to find out how that exactly works. But so you can bet on fighters, and if you lose, you're not going to lose money. You can only win. So, yeah.
Wow. Okay, May 10th, something to look out for. And of course, it's like real life Mortal Kombat for those that haven't seen it. Make sure to check it out. Legends in attendance. Just quickly, Bas, before we go to UFC 287, because we want to get your thoughts on this Pereira-Israel fight, some breaking news in the last 24 hours. UFC, the company behind UFC Endeavor now bought WWE. They're looking to become one publicly traded company. And I thought, as a guy who had a bit of a pro wrestling run in yourself, man, in Japan, I'd love to get your thoughts. Like, what do you think this could mean for the UFC in terms of cross promotion, in terms of their future?
I don't know. I think a lot of UFC fans are WWE fans, and the other way around. I think already it works really well. Then, of course, with Brock Lesnar and some other guys that we had over to the UFC, and it did actually extremely well in that as well. So yeah, I think it can only be good. But the real pluses, it's me. They were both successful already, so I don't understand it.
I wonder if do you pull the trigger on this Conor McGregor jump over, especially if you can, I suppose, find some success, or maybe even not against Michael Chandler? Do you pull the trigger on that sooner than later and see what you can do with him over there?
In WWE, you mean?
Yeah, WWE, yeah.
That would be a no-brainer, right? I mean, Ronda's doing freaking awesome. There's some other guys, So yeah, that would be good for him. I hope he's going to come back. First of all, to fight, and it's going to be okay. You're thinking, and this is from the outside, of course, and we have no clue on the inside. But I mean, you always think, right? There's a lot of money, and everybody's doing everything for you. Does he still have that hunger? And I think everybody's asking about it. And I really do. He has, because a freaking insane and an on-point Conor is a very exciting fighter. So I really would love to see that. Yeah, but I'd rather see him fight for real than in WWE.
Yeah, 100%, man. Well, speaking of fighting for real, the champion himself, Alex Pereira, we're going back to Karate Combat, of course. He was there in attendance in Miami. And obviously, we're just days away from the UFC rematch between him and Israel. I'm curious, did you get a chance to speak to him, man? Did anything stand out to you seeing him in person? Because he looks like he's about 20 foot tall.
He's it's amazing. And then every time I think, but he's not even 205, he's 185.
Yeah.
He can around like 230. He's a giant. He's 6'3". It's a big. How can these people? There's also when I have Stephen Wonderboy Thompson next to me. Everybody, John Jones. They're freaking giants. They're so tall. No, we didn't speak. We shook hands. Hey, how you doing? We saw him last time. When we were kicking the meter thing. For the rest, we did talk with a lot of people there. It was at the very end. But I talked to some people of his team that I didn't see for a long time. George, I didn't see for a long time, so that was fun to talk. But yeah, it's we're gonna find out what happens. I don't know, man. It's gonna be a tough fight for Adesanya, but I think that Adesanya can do it. I mean, he proved it last time already. He dropped him. He only couldn't wrap it up. But so there is this thing between the both of them. It would, on one side, it would be good if he wins, because then we're going to see another one, right? So we'll see. We'll see. May the best man win, man. It's a hard fight to call.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? And we've heard this happen from time to time when you're in the gym and you're talking to guys and they go, this guy's the best in the world, but this other guy, he just has his number.
Yeah.
For some reason, he's just always able to beat him. I don't know if that's a real situation or not. Do you believe in that? Is that a real thing?
No, I don't think so. If that is the case, then it will be a mental thing. And I don't think that's the case with Adesanya. He seems to me like the guy who can shake it off. You know, we always talk about this last weekend. I was talking about it as well. You see a lot of these guys who, when they get knocked out once, you know, it's hard for them to get back. We saw Usman underperforming the last fight he had, because that's probably still fresh in his head. But those guys there, you know, they need a few fights and they're back as strong as ever, and that's no problem. But some of them never get back from it. You know, the only ones that shake it off really easy are the K1 guys from somehow. You know, they get knocked out, and then the next year they win the whole tournament again. And one day they fight 3 fights. So they found a way that is just part of the job, just shove it under the rug. You know, it happened. You know, it's like in training. It might happen. But for a lot of guys who have been on top for a very, very long time, and suddenly they get knocked out, it's a very hard thing for them to overcome that, because now they feel that they're human. But I don't think that Adesanya is one of those guys as well. Plus, that, like I said, he dropped him. He knows he's human, Pereira. You know, he just has to see if he can do it earlier in the round so he can wrap it up. So that's the cool thing about this fight. Also, you know, when you look at Pereira, you know, it's a really great fighter. He gets great accuracy, but the weapons it's not like he has a complete variety of skills all over the place. You know, so he has certain things. So if you watch for certain things, the left hook, right? We all know that's going to happen. And a few other things you have to watch out. But then again, it's like a Ronda Rousey, I always say. You know she's going to go for the armbar. Everybody's going to know she's going to go for the armbar, but she still pulls off the armbar. You see, so that is different type level. And once you're at that level, you know, like a Pereira, he knows he has the power. He knows he has 5 rounds. He only needs to land a punch. And that's a good confidence builder to have, knowing that you only have to land a punch.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this straight up. Do you think Alex Pereira is the most dangerous striker in MMA right now?
Oh, yeah, well, almost have to say yes, right? I think John Jones is up there as well. Gane, actually, also. They're really great strikers. They also, I mean, Gane, he became world champion in 4 years or something in kickboxing. And then he goes to the UFC. And, well, you know, guys are just very, very talented. But yes, if you look at his record and where he fought, and also at Glory, yeah, you would think that he should be the best striker. But you see, him and Israel, they're very close. But you have a lot of great strikers nowadays. So it's a hard one, man, to call. Like in the early days, it was easy to say, because a lot of guys were just striking, the great wrestler, the great submission guy. Now we have this blend of everything. I know one thing, that if I was Israel, I would have, since the last loss, I would have started wrestling 2-3 times a day, every single day, since that last loss that he had, you know, because that's the way to get him, I think. Get inside his head at least. So if you're able to get close to a takedown, as long as he thinks you might go for a takedown, you can use it as a setup.
Well, I mean, the interesting thing is, right, like Israel, he, like you mentioned, he had success in the last fight and then he got stopped right at the end. And we see the theme of him feeling like, you know, he's now being the hunter going in the rematch. I'm curious what you think of his mindset from what you observed, and just the way that he's saying that, like, he basically has nothing to lose now.
That's it. And that's a great feeling for him. You know, I would in and out movement. I wouldn't even try to go for a knockout. Why would you? You know, if it comes, you know, that it probably will automatically happen then, I guess, in this particular case. But I think a guy like Pereira, you have to be in and out the whole time. Every time when he let go the clinch, there was that left hook, and in the beginning it missed. I go, oh man, if he connects, the fight's over. I mean, it's an incredible hard hook, and his cross is really nice as well. So he just has to use in and out movement the whole time, and just go for, okay, maybe it's just a a decision victory. And if something comes, well, something comes, but don't focus on it, because once you start focusing on it, you start grinding your feet, planting your feet, and that will set you up for a knockout.
Yeah, 100%. Speaking of setting up, set yourself up with the best way to destroy those annoying, stupid nose and ear hairs. You know the ones I'm talking about with Manscaped's Weed Whacker 2.0 nose and ear trimmer. Everybody knows how annoying it is when you've got some idle time and you're there ripping out your nose hairs one by one. Then you got to do the other nostril. Your eyes are watering. It hurts. It's freaking annoying. But then the alternative is to just let them grow out and look like you got a bloody mustache coming out of your nose. That's shit. Ear hair is shit as well. And that's where Manscaped's Weed Whacker 2.0 ear and nose hair trimmer is perfectly there to save your ass and your face with a 7,000 RPM motor, the improved steel blade system that upgrades the cutting edge performance from their first generation to better whack your weeds. It comes with this skin safe technology that you've come to love, which reduces the nicks, snags, and tugs. Also, the Weed Whacker 2.0 is cordless, rechargeable, and has a battery of up to 45 minutes of runtime. Dude, you got to have some serious bushes in your nose to need 45 minutes. I get it done after the shower. Buzz. I'm in, I'm out like a bloody stealth agent. You can be too. And also, best of all, if you get the Performance Package 4.0, which is the best value, it already comes in it. So get yourself some Manscaped and make yourself the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. Isn't that right, Dennis?
That's right, man. Get 20% off and free shipping now with the code word submission. Go to Manscaped right now and fix yourself. Get yourself ready for those date nights. Man, I got to tell you, that stuff creeps up on you. I never notice the nose hairs or the ear hairs. It's always the last thing you think about. And by the time you realize it's there, it's too late. Make sure that you're ready for your next date or outing with the boys, thanks to Manscaped. And Cass, speaking of staying ready and getting ready, there's some fun stuff happening right now at NordVPN, and an amazing deal where people can get a huge discount, 4 months free, and a big discount off their NordVPN plan. But for those that don't realize, like, Nord is just a game changer.
Dude, you got the Dan Hardy breakdown show, right? He's doing great stuff for UFC 287, but you probably can't watch it because it says this media can't be played in your country. I'm scrolling through Twitter all the time and it says the same shit. You got highlights from like CBS, NBC, whatever, this and that, ESPN, PFL stuff. Is just like, nah, can't be watched in your country. Never let that happen again. NordVPN, you change your geolocation with one touch of a button. Now your computer, your phone, your Apple, Android, whatever, any device thinks that it's in that country. You can watch whatever the hell you want. So you can watch BT Sports, great coverage. You can watch any kind of highlights. You can switch your Netflix. Let's say you watch everything in Australia. You're out of it. You finish the Australian Netflix catalog. So you're like, bang, I'm moving on to American Netflix or Canadian or US or any shows that are exclusive to, for example, that region of Netflix. Now you can watch it. You can get cheaper Netflix because if your computer thinks you're in Mexico, you pay less than people say in Australia or America. It works for flights as well. The same exact flights are cheaper depending on which country your computer thinks it's in because of obviously the currency. If the website or company or whatever knows that you have that sweet currency, the high value currency, they're like, all right, we're going to charge these bastards more. Or you can do what Dennis did and pay for the NBA League Pass with your computer thinking that you're in like the Philippines or Malaysia where the currency is, not quite as strong. And then you get the NBA League Pass, the same goodness, but much, much cheaper. Hack the system, save money, and also protect yourself from trackers with NordVPN. Isn't that right, Dennis?
That's right, man. And honestly, right now, I know like families out there throwing up between a subscription to this, a subscription to that. Why not just get NordVPN? It's the price of a cup of coffee a month, and you guys will save a ton of money, and one account can be used up to 6 devices, which I absolutely love. You guys get a huge discount, plus 4 additional months for free if you go to nordvpn.com/submission, or just use the code submission and try it completely risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Guaranteed is going to change everything for you forever and save you some money in the bank. But Bas, you, for example, fought Frank Shamrock 3 times. He beat you first, then you beat him the next 2 times. And I'm fascinated to learn from your experience, what's it like fighting somebody? I mean, it's a different situation because you didn't fight him back-to-back really, but what did you learn about fighting the same guy over and over and over? And how do you change as the fight goes on from fight to fight, even though it's the same guy?
Yeah, for me, it was completely different because I was simply not a submission guy. So for me, suddenly understanding the submission game, once I got the bug, so to say, and I started training 2-3 times, I became obsessed with it, and it was the only thing I wanted to do. So then suddenly I realized, wow, I actually pretty decent. And so my last loss I had, and I won my next 8 fights by submission. You see, so that was the big change for me. And like you said, it was not back to back, but knowing that I'm okay on the ground and knowing my fighters, the guys that I'm fighting, knowing now also that I have to watch out on the ground. Listen, the more ways to attack or stop somebody there are, the more you can get inside their head. So it's always working for you.
Yeah, you did better and better and better against Frank as you went, but it's the same guy. I mean, do you look at it as the same guy? Like, I'm just trying, because we're not fighters, I'm just trying to imagine fighting the same person in the octagon or the ring over and over and over, and the mindset that goes into being like, okay, it's the same guy again, but I'm going to do this different. You were able to find a way to actually do better and better as the more you fought him.
Yeah, well, that's why right away said what Adesanya should have done, and maybe he did, was start wrestling right away, immediately. I think that will separate him. Just mixed martial arts, and that's the only thing that will make it different. So once you take a few shots, and especially if you come down, if you get a takedown one time, now you're inside his head, and then you get situations like we saw with Kevin Reynolds and Crow Cup, right? Shoots in, and then suddenly, boom, lands that big left hook. Because you set your opponent up, they think it's a takedown, they bring their hands down, and boom, there's your striking. So yeah, I think it's very important for him to start wrestling, and he's a smart guy. All these guys are smart guys. So I'm pretty sure that if Pereira's camp really started working really hard on takedown defense, because they know this might happen, and I think Israel, hopefully, he started learning how to take people down, at least from a clinch.
Yeah. Well, you also got like Chuck Liddell there with him, and he's obviously like the former king of like the sprawl and brawl. You got Glover Teixeira with great grappling as well. So two great teams. Yep. Also, from Alex's perspective, man, what would you like to see him do more of so that he's not necessarily relying on that 5th round finish?
Go for the body. Go, throw straight to the body as well to set certain strikes up, countering. A little bit more. He's got great accuracy. He's got great freaking power also, and especially like I said, his left hook and his cross. He also doesn't really turn his hand in, which I love because you're not telegraphing. A lot of people say, "Oh, you have to do this bullcrap." It's just somebody made that up. I don't know why they do it. Because in my eyes, you're telegraphing if you do it, but he doesn't. Pereira is perfectly straight with every single punch that he makes. I don't know, man. It's also maybe even Pereira go for takedowns as well. I mean, think about it. If you need to do something where it's completely different what people are going to expect. That's what they need to do. And two strikers, most of the time when you see really two great wrestlers fighting each other, it's going to be a fight on the feet. And now you see two strikers going at it, maybe a little bit of a grappling match. I really would like to see one fighter put the other one on the ground. I just want to see what happens then.
I feel like you're kind of leaning. I've got a feeling that you're kind of leaning towards Israel here.
Because he's so elusive and he's so hard on his feet, and and like he said, if he said already that there's no pressure, he's got nothing to lose for a fighter. That's everything. How many times do you see a guy taking a last-minute fight? Like literally on 3 or 4 days notice, and most of the time these guys win. And the reason is because there is no pressure. Everybody's going to expect him to lose anyway. Might as well make the best out of it, and zero pressure on somebody's shoulder. I think it's going to be good. Then again, I don't think Israel, at least, otherwise he's a really great actor, but it doesn't look to me like he has a lot of pressure when he fights. He's already super calm. But again, like you said, what is there to lose? There's nothing to lose. There's only things to gain. So plus it would be cool if he wins, because then we can do another time.
I just love how he's using the WrestleMania 17 promo between The Rock and Stone Cold. It's so fitting. My Way or the Highway, Limp Bizkit, man, just takes us back. So good. It's kind of become that almost like two guys. I love at the end when Stone Cold's like, I need to beat you, Rock. I need this more than that. It's so fitting. And then The Rock like, I'll give you the absolute best. Yeah, it's just good stuff. All right, before we wrap, we've got Masvidal obviously taking on Gilbert Burns. What a banger that one could potentially be. I'm curious sort of how you see that one going. And then also, what do you want to see happening in the title picture? Because obviously if Masvidal wins, Leon Edwards wants to face him, but the UFC are like, nope, Colby Covington's getting the title shot no matter what. It looks like it's being targeted for UFC 291 in London. What a crazy, crazy spectacle that would be. What are you expecting here, and what would you like to see in the title picture?
I think Covington, that will be him against Edwards. That will be the first one. And then who you were talking about?
Gilbert Burns and Jorge Masvidal. Like these guys co-main, obviously UFC 287.
That's going to be a fight of the night. Both these guys are put on the line. It doesn't matter for these guys. They roll the dice. Winning or losing, somebody's going to get knocked out. And guys like that are the promoter's favorite, let me tell you, because and Burns, I mean, but both these guys are super exciting fighters. And if you look at the records, they're knockout artists. So I think we're going to see a really scrappy, 100% guaranteed.
Both special guys, and they'll definitely be missed eventually when they hang it up because they bring so much excitement to the division. But Bas, before you wrap up, man, for those that still haven't gotten themselves an O2 trainer, you have this great video of you testing your breathing on your Instagram page. People can jump on and check out the video right now. And after using the O2 trainer, I believe you said you've used it kind of like for 5 years, your breathing was at 133%, which I believe is better than 95% of the population. And you're only 58 years young. That's incredible. Break that down for us.
It's what happens is this: after the age of 28 or 29, your chest flexibility, you start losing that. And breathing is all done about chest expansion, right? You expand your chest, there's a vacuum between the body and the lungs, and that chest expansion opens up your lungs. But once your chest starts calcifying after the age of 28, 29, you can't expand anymore. So a lot of these people, they're talking about products that they say, oh, you can increase your lung volume. That's a total lie. You can't. But, if you're past the age of 29, and for instance, you're 39, so you're 10 years in, you lost about 1/3 of a liter in chest because you can't chest anymore, unless you do inspiratory muscle training, which is what the O2 trainer is, and then you work out your diaphragm and your intercostal muscles, the muscles in between your ribs, and you keep that chest flexible. And once you do that, you're not going to lose anything. And that's simply what I did. I did for 5 years. I've been doing it every day. I post these videos every day on a special Facebook page, Bas Rutten's O2 Bootcamp. And it's a private page, but there's all O2 trainer users. And everybody talks about what the O2 trainer has been doing for them. And it's really amazing. I mean, we have the highest ratings now on Amazon. We blow everybody out of the sky. It's a very simple, people see the product, and this is it. But it's there as long, I think the gladiators, they will doing already inspiratory muscle training. They're freaking every endurance athlete in the Olympics is doing it. So it's just, we don't see it yet in fighting, not too much. The good fighters we see, because look at their breathing. And hopefully it's going to come over, because we're such a knuckleheads. We're so full of ourselves. And I know that because I was as well, that we all believe that we breathe. Hey, boss, I've been breathing since I was a baby. I know how to breathe. Yeah, that's right. But 95% of us are breathing wrong. And it starts all at the age of 5.5. There's a whole explanation. I don't want to bore you with it, but you can find it all on the website, o2trainer.com. There's a whole bunch of videos out there where I explain how it works. What does the O2 trainer do for you? It's a 6-minute video. I would really watch that because it'll change your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I know even like Israel's been preaching a lot of, I don't know about preaching, but like they do a lot of breathing things at City Kickboxing. So you're definitely onto something, man. You've been onto it for a very, very long time. I know people that struggle with asthma, so I know how important it is to get your breathing right. But there he is, man. Follow the man at Bas Rutten MMA. Of course, make sure to follow on the socials and grab an O2 trainer. Get yourself a bottle of El Guapo Honey Pepper Whiskey. Can't wait to try it over here in Australia. Grab one today. We're hearing amazing reviews, and the bottle is an absolute keepsake for any MMA fan out there. Bas, always a pleasure, man. Thanks so much for giving us some of your time and breaking down some fights with us. Appreciate it.
Very welcome, guys. Always good to talk to you.
Lots of love, Bas. Thanks, man.